First on the agenda, approval of the agenda. I do have a change to, or an addition to make. Ken Lynn is here to talk to us tonight with guest number 1. Is there anybody else that'd like to speak tonight? Any other additions to the agenda? If not, I'll have a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Support. Those in favor of approving the agenda as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment. Oh, approved minutes, yeah, we got minutes up at the zoo. I hope everybody had a chance to read all the minutes from all the committee meetings and what have you. If there's any changes or whatnot to the agenda? Or to the budget?
To the minutes.
The minutes, Jesus.
I'll make a motion that we accept the regular minutes from the Tuesday, November 13th meeting.
A second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now we'll go to public comment. Looks like there's none, so Ken, you're up, my friend.
All right. I'm going to use your new lecture. This is cool.
Yeah, let me introduce Ken. Ken's with EMC, our liability coverage, and he's gonna talk to us tonight about insurance.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the few minutes here. As always, I'm going to try to take the real short version. If you have any questions, I'm happy to stop and go through it. The longest I've been, because there were a couple of trustees that kept having questions, we went nearly 4 hours. So I don't know how long I can go, but I've been tested to that limit. So it's up to you folks. But my name is Ken Lind. I'm over just north of Midland, Michigan. And per se, my territory is pretty much east of I-75 and north of kind of the Saginaw area north, which would take in the Thumb and all this. If you kind of start over at Unionville, Gagetown, work your way all the way up to Caseville, go around to Port Austin, keep on going down Fort Sanilac, and most of the townships in the middle there, those are our clients. We basically have designed our program to meet the needs here in Michigan, which is inclusive of windmills, solar farms, and other things, including some of the issues that come before our villages and our cities. And so it's not a canned program. There are some options. We can look at options. Just to kind of jump to the end first, one of the options that there's an awful lot of talk about is that of cyber liability. You have some things that cover cyber in some of those areas, but true cyber liability, you don't do a lot of billing. You don't maintain people's personal social security numbers and a lot of those things. Anyways, you haven't in the past, so some of the cyber liability coverages would not apply to you. But if you would like to look at that in more depth, I'm happy to go into that, to consider it. But that's kind of a buzz term that's going on out there that for most municipalities is not applicable. EMC has been in the municipal business for quite some time. They have over 8,000 municipalities. And so this is not something we're just testing to see how we like it. One of the areas that really is important and different about our company is on our liabilities. Just about all of them across the board are first dollar, no deductible, no limit on the defense. So if you have some kind of a wrongful act, if you have a land use issue, if you have a regulatory takings issue, if you have any of these things, we want you to call us first thing, because we'll come in and we want to be known by the world, so to speak, that we don't just roll over and try to write a check. I had one township where the supervisor called me. He said, "Ken, I need to see you." That's never good. Nobody ever wants me just to come over and say hi. But anyway, so I went over there, and he said, "I think we're going to be sued." Okay, what happened? He told me what happened. I said, "Yep, you're going to be sued by Mr. Grumpy Pants, and you're going to lose." So what do? Do we just try to settle with him now? He said, "Oh no, we will fight him on your behalf. Because you just roll over this time, the next time somebody else is going to come back and try to do something." And the lawsuit was in a special meeting where one of the trustees, they were talking about paint. And one of the trustees said, "I don't care, whatever you want to paint it, whatever color, I don't care." Trustee didn't show up. At the end of the meeting, the clerk said, "Oh," excuse me. That's not what she said. She said, "Oh, I just received in this bill for the ashtray that we approved at the last meeting. Can I give you this to pay?" "Oh, okay." And they recorded it. Special meeting, it wasn't on the agenda. Technically, but Mr. Grumpy Pants had been looking for several months for something to cause grief. He did. We fought him. And I don't think he'll ever sue again. But, you know, those are the kinds of things. We are here to defend you. Now, let's take an example. Let's say that you're looking at some of the marijuana issues, a body shop, all different kinds of things like this that can come up. And you don't know if you should give the okay or not. As long as you're doing it in a special meeting or in your regular meeting, we're going to defend you. We're not telling you which way to go. We're here to defend your action for your community, for your board. And that's important because we're not trying to prejudge what it is that you should be doing. A couple of the things, as I alluded to, the marijuana thing is quite a topic right now. Body shops are one of our bigger areas of concern. Restaurants and bars, those are kind of the leading four that are out there that there's controversy over. But if you look in your proposal that I gave you, and if you go to page 7, you will see on the bottom where it says legal services, Heidi Hudson's name. Heidi Hudson is an attorney that we have on retainer. Her law firm is one of the leading municipal law firms in the state. And if you have any questions, you can call her. There's no deductible, no charge, and we ask you for about an hour, hour and a half of order. If it's something more serious, call me and we'll work our way through it. We would rather pay legal and stay ahead of a lawsuit than to have a problem. Let me give you a couple examples. We just had a city hire one of these groups for the sewer lines where they come and they pressurize it and they blow things out. Well, the company they hired came and hooked up to the one end of the sewer line, and I'm going to say it was supposed to, they read their decimal wrong, I guess. Supposed to be like 200 pounds of pressure. Well, they blew like 2,000 pounds of pressure, which creates quite a problem, needless to say. They immediately called me, and I said, don't do a thing. Well, first I said, you've got to contact the DNR. Yep. DEQ. Yep. Health Department. Yep. I said, okay, now we've got to do a public notice, but talk to Heidi to word it. So she worded it, got it to everybody. We had no lawsuits. So these are things that might come up. Zoning, buildings, have one village which a gentleman wanted to put up a pole barn on a vacant piece of property, and he was told by the building commission, the planning commission, no, you can't. He went to the county and got a building permit. Bypassed the village totally, got it halfway built, and the village came back and said, "Whoa, what are you doing?" And so we defended, excuse me, the village when he sued him. So these are things that, you know, Heidi can become involved in. As you go through our renewal here, which by the way is automatic, this is just for your information. This last year we made some changes at the park on a few things. We get over to page 12. One area that's not talked about much, but I think is very important for you folks to know. On crime coverage, we cover mysterious disappearance. Now, crime is usually thought about when you're robbed. But when you're robbed, there's usually some kind of an assault and or forcible entry. Well, things can happen that there is no assault or forcible entry. Example, one of the most common ones that we have are where treasurers on a Friday afternoon are paid tax money at their homes. Now in a village you don't have this as much. And so the treasurer takes the money, gives a proper receipt. Oh, what am I going to do with it? Takes the money and slides it into an envelope or in a book or someplace. And then about a week, 2 weeks later, remember, oh, Susan gave me their tax money. Where'd I put it? And they can't find it. Mysterious disappearance. You go to the bank. You have to stop and get gas. You come back out to your car. Your bank bag is gone. And we can say, oh, we shouldn't leave it on the seat all this time. But things happen. Okay, mysterious disappearance. Again, we're here to protect you in those areas. So when you look under crime, right at the very end, in a teeny tiny print, why they make it so small, I don't know, because it is a big deal. You'll see mysterious disappearance is covered. We go to the next page, 13. Number 7 is the one that's most applicable to you. Elected officials. If something happens to your vehicle as an elected official while involved with the village situation, now that can be going to a meeting, coming from a meeting, involved in going to hear somebody's neighbor's dog barking, going to MML educational conferences, coming here tonight, and all of a sudden your car is, let's say, hit. You go outside here and somebody backed into your car. You have AAA. You have a $500 deductible. Okay, AAA pays everything but $500. We pay the $500. We pay up to $1,000 for your vehicle in that. Going on. We have page 14, the vehicles. This kind of is a synopsis of the only reason there was a small increase from last year. We administer, as the other insurance companies do, the state's charge for the MCCA fee. That's the catastrophic thing. Okay? The state, in their infinite wisdom, this last year raised all of those rates. So if they raise them $30 to $55 a vehicle, when you have basically 8 vehicles, that does add a couple $100, about $400 to it. Our only rate change from last year, from an actuarial standpoint, was that on the hired and on non-owned auto, we did take a $100 rate increase. Everything else across the board, we're pretty level. And if you compare our premiums for the last number of years, we haven't had much of a change, other than when you buy a new something or build something. Let's go on now to 17. And I'll touch on this briefly, and if you want me to take more time, happy to do it again. Wrongful acts are where you do something that's the oops. You say something, you allude to something, and somebody takes offense. I was in a meeting where they came to public comment, and I'll use my wife's name because I try to use my family's name just for anonymity. But there was a nice young lady in the back far corner raised her hand. And she was called on. Donna, what can I do for you? Well, my road is gravel. When are you going to gravel my road? Donna, you live on a private road. We can't use public money to gravel your private road. But when are you going to gravel it? It's bad. Donna, as I just mentioned, we can't gravel your road. If you want to talk to me later, I'll go through it with you. Well, Donna, anything else? No. Donna sits down. At the end of the meeting, and this was the township, the supervisor says, okay, any final public comments? Boy, Donna's up in a flash. You never answered me. And I was talking to my neighbor, Ken, and he said, and the supervisor goes, Ken, don't bring Ken into this. He's a nutcase. Now, this supervisor would give you the shirt off his back. Real nice guy. What I didn't know was that the supervisor, Donna, and Ken all lived on the same road in the same block. But the minute he said, Ken is a nutcase, I'm thinking, what's Ken's last name and how much is the check for? Okay? You can say things that just whatever. Or you might have heard someone say, I talked to you. You said I could do this. No. I talked to you and you said I could do this. And they get all upset. And I'm sorry, I tell a lot of stories. Last story, probably, maybe, possible. So this guy comes and he applies for a fence permit. Where are you going to put the fence? Right on my property line. Okay, give him a fence permit. 2 days later, the neighbor is gone to work. Neighbor comes home, looks out the backyard. The fence is going right along here. The neighbor's deck has been cut off with a chainsaw, and the fence run right along there. This guy over here says, I talked to the board, they said I could put up a fence. End of story. That could be construed as maybe a wrongful act because there wasn't clarification. So there's a lot of stuff that can go into wrongful acts. But besides wrongful acts, we cover all three of the land use issues. One, inventory taking. Nope, can't have the body shop there. Why not? Because, we've got some ordinances and some things, and no. Lawsuit, you've taken an opportunity. Injunctive relief. Yeah, you can go ahead and put the body shop there. Lady across the street. I don't want that junkyard. I don't want that smell. You're going to kill me. I'm going to have cancer. I'm going to die. She sues, and the term is a change in quality of life. Either way you go, you can be sued. Let's say that they work things out. Body shop says, tell you what, you let us work here, we'll paint your car. Sounds good? But then the guy down the road sues. He doesn't want money. He just doesn't want it in his neighborhood. That is a non-monetary. All three of those defenses, again, were first dollar, no deductible, no limit. It's called outside of the policy limits. Strongest you can get. We're here to protect you. We're here to fight for you. And we appreciate your business. And again, our premiums are about the same as they've been with the MCCA. A couple of those things different. Phyllis says you want to go quarterly and then monthly, that's fine, whatever. Any questions that I can answer?
I think you covered it very well.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I know you did say something about why you do it, but if you could just be a little clearer. You said that if someone, when you said that one person contacted you to say they did something wrong and you said, yes, you're gonna get sued, and you fight it anyway, even though you know they're wrong, why is that again? Because, I mean, it
Because
just
the
seems
guy-
like if you know, if the council, the village knows they did something wrong, why wouldn't they take responsibility?
Because the guy was suing for like $100,000, and it was over that ashtray thing. And after we really confronted him, he was happy to just say, okay, put it in the paper that I want. Literally, that's what he wanted.
So when you say fight it, you don't mean you're not gonna settle it?
No,
If they were wrong?
no.
You just made it sound like you're gonna drag it out for a long time,
No, I'm sorry.
just
No,
so
we're-
that you aren't,
the full situation, he was planning on also running for a political office, and he was trying to sue for this astronomical amount, and he was contacting the newspapers to put in there what a
oh,
gravest
that's why I
thing.
asked, because it
And,
just sounded.
and so we just said, you know, we're not gonna get into this game. Go ahead and sue, we'll settle, but we're gonna settle for $1.95. We're not gonna write you a check for $100,000.
Okay, that makes sense.
Anything else? I have some Christmas lists I can pass out afterwards. You know, there's toys for tots, there's gifts for insurance agents. I should do that. There's
Well,
some
Ken, we appreciate you coming.
great organizations.
I want to go on record as saying we appreciate the job that you do.
Well, thank you.
There's never been an issue with Ken Lee, and it's just been immaculate. I stood up here on a Saturday afternoon, we had an incident, or a Saturday morning, and within a half an hour on a Saturday, I had Ken on the phone, and everything was handled, so really do appreciate what you do.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. I shall sit back down. Thank you.
Thank
Okay. And Ken, you wouldn't offend us if you had to get going.
I've got to get a couple signatures, plus I like to stay just to see how everything's going.
Okay, you're welcome to stay.
Thank you for the year that
You are welcome.
Yes,
Those
yes,
are,
thank you.
those are paperweights there to help you in the meeting.
Okay, under old business, I guess, employee handbook updates. We had, and I think you'll see them in your book there, basically what it was correcting or in your packet. We had a statement that was saying one thing and then turn around with a statement that was saying the other, so it was just a clarification of that one statement. Is there anybody who wants to make a motion? I'll make a motion that we accept the changes.
I second.
Any discussion? If not, those in favor of accepting the change in the employee handbook signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Down into new business. Just gonna run down through the committee reports for the record. Through the committee assignments. President Pro Tem will be Bridget McCarty. Finance and Budget, Chairman Jeff Zarkey and Dan Armbruster. Labor Relations, Bridget McCarty and Gail Brown. Police and Ambulance will be Chair Agnes Kaczynski and Bridget McCarty. Parks and Rec, Gail Brown, Agnes Kaczynski. Public Works, Dan Armbruster Chair and Gail Chambers. Planning and Ordinance, Gail Chambers.
There's no S on the end.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chambers. Has chair with Jeff Zarkey. There again, our street and zoning administrator will be Lonnie Schultz. Chief of Police Scott Jobs. Emergency Service Coordinator Lonnie Headley. will be working on the ambulance coordinator yet tonight. Our attorney stays as John Ferris, and the building and zoning, of course, is the Huron County. FOIA and ADA coordinator, Phyllis Bransky. And we have to appoint some planning commission people. We have Dave Fisher and Sid Hilbert. Terms are running out. And we have Dan Armbruster coming on for the term of his council. And this is for the planning commission, so I make a motion that we appoint Dave Fisher, or renew Dave Fisher and Sid Hilbert for a 3-year term expiring 2021, and put Dan Armbruster on till the end of his council term.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? If not, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Jeff Zarkey will be the youth center representative. And Gail Schember, DDA council representative, and I nominate her as the representative.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Okay, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Any questions or additions to that? Okay. DDD appointments. And commission, boy, we was pretty down to number 4. Ambulance coordinator resignation. Anthony was called in to work, could not be here tonight, so Phil's gonna read the letter that he left us.
To whom it may concern, I am writing this letter to regretfully advise the Village of Elkton Council of my resignation as coordinator of the Elkton Ambulance Service. My last day of being the coordinator will be December 11th, 2018. This decision has not been an easy one. I would like to thank the Village of Elkton for allowing me the opportunity to be the coordinator. I have gained a vast amount of knowledge and experience through my time as coordinator. Sincerely, Anthony Jobs.
Move to accept Anthony's resignation.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? I just want to say in Anthony's defense, his life has changed quite a bit, so he, had his hands full, so he had to back out. But other than that, if there's no other discussion, motion to accept Anthony's resignation with regret.
Got the motion.
Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. In that situation, Gail, I'll let you take that.
I make a motion that we appoint Beth Swartzendruper as the new ambulance coordinator in place of Anthony.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Well, we had a great interview with her. And
Yes. Yes, rumor got out that Anthony was resigning, everybody said, go get Beth.
yes.
So I said, I'll give her a call, and she was gracious enough to accept. So those in favor of putting Beth on as ambulance coordinator signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. DPW,
I'd like to make a motion that we accept Aaron Dubes as our part-time DPW worker, mostly in the winter, when he helps Lonnie plow snow and stuff if he's needed, at the rate of $15 an hour.
I second that.
any discussion? This isn't a lot of time. I think last year was, what, 7 hours you thought for a day? Might, it all depends on the snow. Snow removal basically is what it is. Those in favor of hiring Aaron part-time at $15, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. We have budget amendments in front of you. There's quite a few, but we're running pretty close on the budget.
Make a motion that we approve the listed budget amendments.
I second.
Any discussion? If not, Those in favor of the minutes as presented signify by saying aye. Accounts payable.
Make a motion to approve the accounts payable as presented.
I'll second that.
Any discussion, questions? If not, those in favor of accepting the accounts payable as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Department reports. Lonnie?
Okay, I'm sure everybody's heard about PFAS and PFAS by now in the news. Earlier this summer, we did our well testing, and the good news is everything was non-detect in our distribution system. The summary of the post is put up on our website if people want to read it or see it. There is a full report available. It's 27 pages long if you're that interested in reading that stuff. In our lift station, a week or so ago, one of the seals started to leak on it. I called Root Mechanical to come and take a look at it. What it's basically boiled down to is the seal was gone out of the pump. So we replaced that pump with an extra pump that I had in my tool room. The lift station involves two pumps. They rotate or alternate down there, and basically what it is all the sewage goes to them, and then from there it's pumped out to the lagoon. Since the one seal is bad, I want him to do the other pump too, because it's been 20 plus years, and roughly, just from our daily pumpage in those 20 years, we've pumped over 600 million gallons. So, I mean, we've definitely got our life out of them, but like I say, it's probably gonna be right around $6,000 by the time this is all said and done. But that is something we cannot neglect.
So that $6,000 would repair the one that's bad and do the second one in the pit.
Put a new one in.
Right.
So he took the one out of there, he'll bring that one back, repair it, take that one out, and then I'll have a rebuilt one.
So,
As a-
exactly, so we'll have two rebuilt out of that.
Yep. And we should be good for another 20
20
years.
years, hopefully.
Hopefully. You never know, it's mechanical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, things are good.
Okay. Scott?
Complaints obviously are down because I'm the only one here, so there's no sense in even trying to do a comparison. But we are at 757 complaints for the year. Just a note, I did put on my PD Facebook page also, reminding people not to be parking on the street overnight, per the ordinance.
Thank you.
Been really busy. I got a couple good, or not good, but big cases going on, which has been taking a lot of time. It's probably gonna take some more time. Other than that, everything's been going good. I do have a comment I wanna make, and it's more of a concern, I guess. I understand at the last labor meeting, there was a question of my loyalty to the village. And don't really appreciate that. I mean, if you guys, anybody has issues with my loyalty, come talk to me. Because I'd like to compare any loyalty to anybody. So just, I would appreciate it if that wouldn't happen again. And other than that, that's all I have.
Committee reports. Anybody got anything to report?
Finance has been meeting, working on next year's budget. We will be scheduling a public hearing for January. I don't know if we want to set that date now. So, time to publish that. We'll do it on the regular meeting night, January 8th, 6:30. Start that at 6:30. That'll be a public hearing to offer the taxpayers the opportunity to comment on the proposed budget. Assuming that goes well, we would aim to approve that budget at the regular meeting that night.
I just want to say that the finance committee really did their job. We were up against, we got our backs against the wall, and we really did some changes to the budget, and it's looking better than we were thinking for us. Good job, guys. Any public comment? Yes,
Are
ma'am.
you approving the new budget in January? I
At
don't
the
think you
meeting.
can do it till February, I think you should check on that. I think maybe you should check on that.
Yeah,
And make
we'll
sure
look
you
into it.
put that wording in the ad. And another question, did we do DDA appointments?
Yes,
Right,
I
here.
kind of rolled it all into one as I was reading through the committee.
And you voted on it?
Yes.
Mhm.
There was no motion or second, was there?
Yeah,
Okay. I didn't hear that either, I
Oh,
don't know,
yeah.
I must have been sleeping.
dozing off. You got too many people in the hospital, Lana.
We don't wanna go there.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm trying to stay away from it. Okay. Anything else? If not,
Yes,
oh, yes.
I brought treats in the back for everybody,
Oh, cool.
okay?
Food.
So everybody don't leave till you grab some, because other than that, somebody's gonna have to take it home or leave it here or whatever, I'm not taking it.
Well, if there's nothing else, I will make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.